Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next hour. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says Gaganyaan Mission symbolizes new chapter in the journey of self-reliant India. Felicitates astronaut Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla and other Gaganyatris, calls them gems. Ukraine gets support from Norway in strengthening its air defense system on its Independence Day amid advances made by Russia in Donetsk region of eastern Ukraine. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un oversees firing of 2 new air defense missiles ahead of a summit between US President Trump and South Korea President Lee Jae-myung on Monday. India's test stalwart Cheteshwar Pujara calls time on his international career, shares a heartfelt note on social media, says it's impossible to put into words his journey on the pitch. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh attended the Indian Air Force Space Conference in New Delhi, where he felicitated the Gaganyatris, including astronaut Shubhanshu Shukla. The ceremony also honoured Group Captain P.B. Nair, Group Captain Ajit Krishnan and Group Captain Angad Pratap, who are part of Gaganyaan, ISRO's maiden spaceflight mission. Speaking on the occasion, Minister Rajnath Singh described the 4 Gaganyatris as gems of the country and pioneers of national aspirations. He stressed that Gaganyaan Mission symbolizes new chapter in the journey of self-reliant India that places us with pride among the major space powers of the world. The minister described the 4 Gaganyatris as gems of the country and pioneers of national aspirations.
जब हम भारत की स्पेस जर्नी की ओर देखते हैं तो हम पाते हैं कि हमारा कंट्रीब्यूशन केवल स्पेस में उपग्रह भेजने तक सीमित नहीं है। आज भारत चंद्रमा से लेकर मंगल ग्रह तक अपनी उपस्थिति दर्ज करा चुका है। आज भारत गगनयान जैसे मिशंस के लिए भी पूरी तरह तैयार है। साथियों, मैं इसे केवल तकनीकी उपलब्धि के रूप में नहीं देखता, बल्कि आत्मनिर्भर भारत का वह नया अध्याय है जहां हम विश्व की बड़ी स्पेस पावर्स के बीच पूरे गर्व के साथ खड़े हो रहे हैं।
India's Defence Research and Development Organization has successfully conducted the maiden flight tests of Integrated Air Defence Weapon System on Saturday off the coast of Odisha. Integrated Air Defence Weapon System is a multi-layered air defence system comprising of all indigenous quick reaction surface-to-air missiles, advanced very short-range air defence system missiles and high-power laser-based directed energy weapons. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh in a social media post said, and I quote, "I congratulate DRDO, India Armed Forces and industry for successful development of IADWS. This unique flight test has established the multi-layered air defense capability of our country and is going to strengthen area defense for important facilities against enemy aerial threats." The Indian Space Research Organization ISRO has successfully accomplished the first integrated airdrop test IADT-01 for end-to-end demonstration of parachute-based deceleration system for Gaganyaan missions. This test is a joint effort of ISRO, Indian Air Force, DRDO, Indian Navy and Indian Coast Guard. Chief of Army Staff General Upendra Dwivedi embarked on an official visit to Algeria, marking his first overseas engagement since the success of Operation Sindoor. The visit underscores a shared commitment to deepening mutual understanding, enhancing cooperation in areas of common interest, and advancing bilateral defense cooperation between the two nations. The visit highlights India's growing commitment to strategic defense partnerships and underscores the Indian Army's expanding diplomatic role on the global stage. The trip follows close on the heels of the recent visit of the Chief of Defence Staff of Algiers to India. Delhi Assembly is hosting its first ever All India Speakers Conference in the national capital. Home Minister Amit Shah inaugurated the two-day conference at the Delhi Assembly in New Delhi today. At the conference, the Home Minister urged the House proceedings to be conducted as per the rules so that an unbiased debate takes place. The conference is organized to commemorate the centenary year of Vittalbhai Patel assuming the office of Speaker of the Central Legislative Assembly as the first elected Speaker in the country. The event will bring together speakers from state assemblies all across the country, along with chairman and deputy chairman of legislative councils from 6 states. Speaker of the lower house of Parliament will preside over the closing session of the conference.
हम एक निष्पक्ष मंच अपने अपने प्रदेश की जनता की आवाज के लिए रखें। एक निष्पक्ष बहस पक्ष और विपक्ष के द्वारा हो, इसको हम सुनिश्चित करें और सदन की कार्यवाही विधानसभा के नियमों के अनुसार, लोकसभा राज्यसभा के नियमों के अनुसार हो, इसके लिए हम आग्रही बने, क्योंकि विचार मंथन ही ये लोकतंत्र में जनता की समस्याओं के निवारण का सर्वश्रेष्ठ माध्यम है।
Prime Minister of Fiji, Sitiveni Ligamamada Rabuka, arrived in India on a 3-day visit. The leader was received by Union Minister of State for Education and Development of North Eastern Region, Dr. Sukanta Majumdar, at the airport. This is the first visit to India by Prime Minister Rabuka in his present capacity. During his visit to New Delhi, Prime Minister Rabuka is scheduled to hold talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi on August 25. The visiting Prime Minister is also scheduled to call on Indian President Draupadi Murmu in New Delhi. Prime Minister Rabuka's visit underscores the long-standing and enduring ties between India and Fiji. It reaffirms the continued commitment of both countries to further strengthen the bilateral relationship across all sectors and deepen our close people-to-people ties. The Texas Senate approved a bill on Saturday to redraw the state's congressional maps at the behest of President Donald Trump in an effort to flip 5 U.S. House seats held by Democrats to Republicans. The approval comes after the state House passed it on Wednesday. The measure goes to Governor Greg Abbott to be signed into law amid a nationwide redistricting battle. The Senate adopted a bill on party line vote 18-11 after more than 8 hours of debate. California and other states where Democrats hold power to vow to counter such moves. The California legislature approved a redistricting plan on Thursday aimed at giving Democrats 5 more congressional seats. The California plan must be approved by voters in November. The Texas plan does not need voter approval, but Democrats have indicated they will challenge it in court. US President Donald Trump praised the newly passed Texas electoral map as a tremendous opportunity to help his Republican Party retain control of Congress in next year's midterm elections. Trump, posting on his Truth Social platform, said the new map will give the wonderful people of Texas the tremendous opportunity to elect 5 new MAGA Republicans in 2026 midterm elections. Trump had pressured the Republican-run Texas to create the new map to help prevent Democratic opponents from taking over the House of Representatives in 2026, halfway through his term. Last week, the state legislature's lower chamber adopted the bill after Democrats delayed the votes for weeks by denying Republicans a quorum to do legislative business. Governor Greg Abbott said he would swiftly sign the bill into law. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth fired the head of the Pentagon's intelligence agency and 2 other senior military commanders, the latest move by President Donald Trump's administration to purge officials at the Pentagon. It was not immediately clear why Lieutenant General Jeffrey Cruz, who led the Defense Intelligence Agency, was fired. Hegseth's purge broadened later on Friday. One U.S. official speaking on the condition of anonymity said that in addition to Cruz, Hegseth had also ordered the removal of the Chief of U.S. Naval Reserves and the Commander of Naval Special Warfare Command. All three officials said it was unknown why they were fired. The move appeared to be the latest attempt by Trump administration to penalize current and former military, intelligence and law enforcement officials whose views have been seen as at odds with Trump. Nigeria's Air Force said it killed at least 35 Islamic State fighters in airstrikes near the Cameroon border on Saturday following an attempted attack on ground troops. Nigerian Air Force in a statement said the air component executed precision strikes in successive passes. The airstrike was the latest by the Nigerian military, which is battling a resurgence of attacks in the country's embattled northeast. The operation was part of an intensified campaign in the northeast, where the military last week said it had killed 592 armed militia members in 8 months, surpassing operational gains made in 2024. The region faces frequent attacks from the jihadist fighters of Boko Haram and its rival splinter group, the Islamic State West Africa province. The High National Elections Commissions in Libya opened polling stations for elections in 7 municipalities. The commission called on votes to bring proof of identity and a voter card when they arrive to cast their ballots. The number of voters in the municipal elections for Group 2 reached 165,159 with a turnout rate of 72.41%. And global weather updates now. Another tropical storm, Fernand, has formed south-southeast of Bermuda, which forecasts to strengthen over the next 48 hours, potentially approaching hurricane with strength by Monday. The storm is located approximately 655 kilometers south-southeast of Bermuda, with maximum sustained winds of 65 kilometers per hour. National Hurricane Center is monitoring the tropical wave with a medium chance of development within days. This system will likely bring heavy rains and gusty winds to the Leeward and Windward Islands on Sunday and Monday. Well, roads in Margate City, New Jersey, submerged by floodwater as Hurricane Erin, which was churning in the Atlantic hundreds of miles offshore. Erin, which has since made its way further out to sea, was downgraded to a post-tropical cyclone. However, the agency warned swimming at many beaches along the east coast of the US remained dangerous over the weekend. Erin, the fifth named storm of the 2025 Atlantic season and the first to attain hurricane status, earlier had strengthened to a Category 5 storm. The last Atlantic storm to reach that intensity was Hurricane Milton in October 2024. Following Erin's passage, the US Coast Guard has been actively responding to massive waves along the east coast. As the storm weakened and moved out to sea, it left behind dangerous conditions for maritime operations. Rescue teams backed by bulldozers and Red Cross volunteers continued searching through debris in Guinea's capital as the death toll from a devastating landslide rose to 16 after heavy overnight rains triggered the collapse of a hillside that buried homes in the Mania district. Red Cross volunteers recover bodies from the rubble under army supervision as grief-stricken residents looked on. Guinea and much of West Africa faces increasingly severe flooding and landslides during the May to October rainy season. Search operations expected to continue as authorities work to locate any remaining survivors. Rapid urbanization, in fact, and adequate drainage systems around Conakry have left many communities vulnerable to such disasters. And still to come on DRDO News Hour. In Sri Lanka, former President Ranil Wickremesinghe's recent arrest has united the country's opposition parties. More protests in Britain.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Now some weather updates from the parts of India. The Indian Meteorological Department has issued a red alert for extremely heavy rainfall over Gujarat, Goa and the coastal areas of Maharashtra. Similar conditions are expected over Madhya Pradesh, Sikkim, Chhattisgarh and sub-Himalayan West Bengal during the next 7 days. Several areas in Rajasthan are facing flood-like conditions, displacing hundreds, submerging villages, crippling connectivity and prompting large-scale rescue operations. In the southern part of the nation, these conditions will also prevail over the coastal areas of Karnataka and Telangana today. The weather agency has also forecast very light to light rain with thunder showers over Delhi NCR. Relief and rescue operations are underway on a war footing in disaster-affected Tharali of Chamoli district in North Indian state of Uttarakhand. Various teams from the district administration, local police, SDRF, NDRF, Army, SSB and ITBP are engaged in relief and rescue efforts. The cloudburst in Tharali village left 2 dead and 11 others injured. More than 150 affected people have been accommodated in the tehsil premises where food, water and medical facilities along with other basic necessities have been arranged for them. Rains continue to lash several parts of Himachal Pradesh. A yellow warning has been issued for heavy rain in isolated areas of the state till Tuesday. The state has witnessed many flash floods, cloudbursts and major landslides so far this monsoon. Jammu region is reeling under the fury of the monsoon, with cloudbursts and heavy rains leaving behind a trail of destruction in Kishtwar, Katwa and Jammu city. In Kishtwar, tragedy struck on the 14th of August when a cloudburst hit Chosti village along the Machel Mata Yatra route. The sudden flash flood swept away houses, vehicles and community kitchens. More than 60 people have been killed. Massive rescue operations by Army, NDRF, SDRF and local authorities are underway, but the devastation is overwhelming. The Machel Yatra has been suspended as the region struggles to recover. Just days later, disaster hit Katwa district, where cloudbursts in Jodghati and Bagra villages triggered flash floods and landslides. At least 7 people, including 5 children, lost their lives, while many others were injured. Roads, railway tracks and parts of the Jammu-Pathankot highway were damaged as the Uj river swelled dangerously. Several families have been displaced and authorities have issued strict advisories to stay away from rivers and landslide-prone areas. The monsoon has also claimed lives in other areas of Jammu, where 4 people died in rain-related accidents over the weekend. 1 person was swept away in flash flood, and many localities faced severe waterlogging and damage to property. Overall, Jammu recorded one of its heaviest August showers in a single day. Katra, Katwa and adjoining areas too received record rainfall, leading to swollen rivers, landslides and damaged infrastructure. For now, rescue and relief remain the top priorities, but rebuilding lives and strengthening disaster preparedness will be the real challenge in the days ahead. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, accompanied by Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha, visited the Government Medical College in Jammu today. During the visit, Minister Singh met with those injured in the recent cloudburst incident in Kishtwar. He assured that all the injured are recovering well at the medical college. Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha has said the administration is making every possible effort to provide treatment, rehabilitation and relief to those affected by a recent cloudburst in Kishtwar. Speaking to media persons at Government Medical College Jammu, where he met the injured undergoing treatment, LG Sinha assured that affected families will be fully supported.
दुखद हादसा हुआ था वहाँ, काफ़ी लोगों की जानें भी गई हैं। प्रशासन ने पूरी मुस्तैदी से लापता लोगों को पता करने की कोशिश की। अभी भी 32 लोगों लापता हैं। प्रयास जारी है और राहत और पुनर्वास के भी अच्छे इंतजाम किए जा रहे हैं। 4 करोड़ 13 लाख रुपए का वितरण अभी तक हो चुका है। जो लोग भी प्रभावित हैं, जम्मू कश्मीर प्रशासन और भारत सरकार भी उनके राहत और पुनर्वास की पूरी व्यवस्था करेगी।
All right, and DD India's Ankush Sharma joins us from Jammu. Ankush, we just told our viewers that Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, accompanied by the Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha, visited the Government Medical College in Jammu. They had a word with the injured in Kishtwar. What is the latest that you have for us?
Siddharth, just few minutes earlier, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh visited GMC Jammu, where he met with the people who got injured in the cloudburst tragedy in Chasoti village of Kishtwar district, and he speak with them, and he also speak with the doctors. Doctors briefed him about the current situation of the patients, and they also provided data to the minister that how much patients got treated and how much patients got discharged till now. And he was planned to visit Chasoti village of Kishtwar, but due to bad weather, it was not happened because this morning Jammu observed heavy rainfall, which leads to landslides, flood-like situation in some areas, and that is why Rajnath Singh cancelled the visit to Kishtwar. But here in Jammu, he met with the people who were injured in the tragedy, and he assured the relief, and he was along with the Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha and Union Minister Union Minister Dr. Jatendra Singh was with him. So later he visited Raj Bhavan, where he took stock of the current situation of Jammu and Kashmir, because today is the 10th day when the rescue operation is still underway in Chasoti village. Because of continuous heavy rainfall, it was not possible to continue the rescue operation. So there is pause in sometimes in the rescue operation, but he took the stock of Jammu and Kashmir's. And one more thing I want to mention here, that this morning when heavy rainfall occurred in Jammu division, this also happened in Jammu, flood-like situation in some areas. So Defence Minister Rajnath Singh might be review the different parts of Jammu and Kashmir in terms of weather, because right now there is already advisory in Jammu and Kashmir, especially for Jammu division, from 23rd to 26th of August. There will be heavy rainfall, which could lead thunderstorms, landslides, and cloudburst situations also. So Rajnath Singh visited here today, and he took stock of all the information related to weather in Jammu and Kashmir, and he was accompanied by Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha and Union Minister Dr. Jatendra Singh.
All right, this is developing. Ankush, we'll keep taking updates from you, but as of now, we'll leave it there. Thank you. Moving on to South Asia, several villages in the Kasur district of Pakistan were inundated as rescuers moved villagers and livestock to safe places. The Satluj River posed a threat to the area. Authorities warned residents in riverbeds to relocate to safer areas, but some local residents said they had nowhere to go. Floods across Pakistan have killed 785 since the monsoon started in late June, warning of 2 more rain spells by September 10. Local authorities are urging both the national and international community to assist with funding and resources to mitigate the growing crisis in the coming weeks. In Sri Lanka, former President Ranil Wickremesinghe's recent arrest has united the country's opposition parties. At a media briefing held earlier today, several opposition leaders voiced strong criticism of the authorities' decision to detain Wickremesinghe. Under the theme, "Let's defeat the constitutional dictatorship," the leaders accused the current administration of manipulating legal mechanism to suppress political opponents, saying that the arrest represents a wider campaign to weaken democratic institutions and stifle dissenting voices.
What is the need to arrest him? Is the arrest in any way connected with the objective of a proper investigation? It is quite evident that there is no connection between the two. What is the need to arrest him? Is the arrest in any way connected with the objective of a proper investigation? It is.
The 76-year-old former President Wickremesinghe was remanded by a 4th Magistrates Court over allegations of misusing public funds during an overseas trip in 2023. He was later admitted to National Hospital, where he was shifted to ICU on doctor's advice. Updates on Russia-Ukraine conflict now. A fire broke out on Sunday at a Russian nuclear power plant after the country's military downed a Ukrainian drone. The device detonated upon impact at the Kursk nuclear power plant in West Russia, sparking a blaze, which the facility said was extinguished by fire crews. There were no casualties from the drone smashing down that site, where capacity was reduced. The plant administration, in a social media post, informed the radiation background at the industrial site of the Kursk nuclear power plant and the surrounding area has not changed and corresponds to natural levels. The plant is near the Russia-Ukraine border and sits to the west of Kursk city. Russia said on Sunday that its forces had captured the village of Filia in Ukraine's Dnipropetrovsk region, continuing their push towards Dnipro. Earlier, Russia on Saturday said its forces had taken 2 villages in eastern Ukraine's Donetsk region. Moscow's defense ministry on social media post said that its forces had captured the villages of Shrednie and Klibanbek. The capture of Klibanbek would mark a further advance towards Kostiantinivka, a key fortified town on the road to Kramatorsk, where a major Ukrainian logistics base is located. The latest Russian advances come as hopes dim for a summit between Russian and Ukrainian presidents, a solution championed by US President Donald Trump as part of his efforts to end the conflict. Meanwhile, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa on Saturday added his voice to calls for a Russia-Ukraine summit during a telephone conversation with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The South African president stressed the urgency of holding bilateral and trilateral meetings between the leaders of Russia and Ukraine and the United States as key to signal a firm commitment to ending the conflict. Ramaphosa, who currently chairs the G20, also spoke with French President Emmanuel Macron and Finnish President Alexander Stubb. He will speak with other European leaders in the coming weeks. Ukraine is celebrating its Independence Day today, the 34th anniversary of Ukraine proclaiming independence from the Soviet Union. Ukraine Independence Day is celebrated on 24th August each year, honoring the country's modern statehood and the moment its parliament proclaimed independence in 1991. US Special Envoy for Ukraine Keith Kellogg and Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney joined Zelensky for Ukraine's Independence Day celebrations.
This is what we have been doing for 1,278 days of this war, the war for independence. For each of these days, I want to thank you, Ukrainian soldiers, Ukrainian volunteers, doctors, rescuers, teachers, our youth, our parents, every Ukrainian man and woman. Thank you all for what we have already been through and for creating Ukraine together. How many times have we said that we want silence, we want peace, but a dignified and comprehensive one, and that is why we are counting on the strength of the whole world. This is what Ukraine is like now. This is what Ukraine will never again in history be forced to feel shame.
The Norway government on Sunday said it will contribute nearly 7 billion Norwegian crowns, which is $696.12 million of air defense systems to Ukraine, with Norwegian Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Store stressing that the aid will support Kyiv's defense against Russian air attacks. On Ukraine's Independence Day, the European Commission building were illuminated in the vibrant blue and yellow of the Ukrainian flag, a powerful symbol of Ukraine's resilience and unwavering belief in a brighter future. The Ukrainian flag, now a symbol of resistance and hope, waves proudly as the nation continues its pursuit of peace and prosperity, with EU standing firmly by its side. In Britain, anti-migrant demonstrators and counter-protesters faced off in Hawley and Liverpool on Saturday over the housing of asylum seekers in hotels. In the town of Hawley, there was a large police presence keeping the two protest groups apart outside Liverpool's St. George's Hall. Britain has seen regular small-scale protests in recent weeks outside hotels housing migrants, spurred in part by concerns about public safety after some migrants were charged with sexual assault. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has been facing criticism over his immigration policies after official figures on Thursday showed asylum claims at a record high, with more migrants being housed in hotels compared with a year ago. And still to come on DD India News Hour. We will discuss the tensions flaring in Korean Peninsula. Stay with us.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy, always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj, and a quick recap of headlines. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says Gaganyaan Mission symbolizes new chapter in the journey of self-reliant India. Felicitates astronaut Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla and other Gaganyatris. Calls them gems. Ukraine gets support from Norway in strengthening its air defence system on its Independence Day amid advances made by Russia in Donetsk region of eastern Ukraine. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un oversees firing of two new air defense missiles ahead of a summit between US President Trump and South Korea President Lee Jae-myung on Monday. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has supervised the test firing of two new air defense missiles as tensions with South Korea flared following a border incident earlier in the week. The test comes hours after South Korea confirmed it fired warning shots on Tuesday at North Korean soldiers who briefly crossed the demilitarized zone separating the countries. The report came ahead of the summit on Monday between US President Donald Trump and South Korea President Lee Jae-myung. The missile tests also coincided with large-scale joint military exercises between South Korea and the United States. Earlier this month, Kim condemned the US-South Korea joint military drills as their intent to remain most hostile to his country, pledging to speed up nuclear buildup. According to the Korean Central News Agency, the launches showed the improved missile systems had superior combat capability. And joining me on this story today is Ambassador C. Rajashekhar, former senior diplomat. Ambassador, a very warm welcome to the broadcast. North is testing combat capability, and that too ahead of summit between US President Donald Trump and the South Korea President. What does this indicate? What is the North Korean leader thinking?
First of all, the timing. The testing of two new air defense missiles comes soon after US and the Republic of Korea, which is South Korea. US and South Korea keep conducting exercises. The present one ongoing, they have started on 18th of August. 18th to 28th, they'll go on for 11 days. This is a constant source of provocation for North Korea because North Korean leadership is quite apprehensive about the joint power of Japan, South Korea and US. So always it criticizes these exercises as provocative.
Yes.
Therefore, the following day on 19th August, Tuesday, North Koreans, 30 of them, briefly crossed over into the southern side of the demilitarized border. Then South Korea has fired upon them, warning, saying that don't cross. So that is a problem. The second point is that yesterday the missiles were tested in the backdrop of the ongoing summit between Japan and South Korea. The newly elected president of South Korea, Lee Jae-myung, has been visiting Tokyo to meet Shigeru Ishiba, the Prime Minister of Japan. They wanted to project solidarity before South Korean president goes on to Washington DC for his first summit with President Donald Trump. So this is the context. And routinely, North Korea keeps conducting these tests to convey its protest and also to project its growing might. This time, what is different is that for some time, North Korea has been supporting Russia in Russia's war against Ukraine. 15,000 North Korean troops have been sent to fight along with Russia.
And what is North Korea getting out of it?
Yeah, precisely. This is the...
Is it the technology?
Yes, precisely. This is the new technology, which is the air defense missile technology. This time they are showcasing that these two new air defense missiles, they are superior and quicker response against aerial targets, whether it is drones or cruise missiles. That is precisely what they wanted to demonstrate. The presence of the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un means already these missiles have been confirmed, validated that they will fire well. So that's why they have been tested. Also, one more thing comes up is that next year, early next year, this North Korean party conference is coming up. So before that, North Korean leader wants to consolidate his power by projecting enhanced military capabilities.
Okay, so you mean public support?
Yes.
Okay.
The North Korean domestic support.
Okay. All right.
And also to project to the South Koreans that they better take care of, better take note of the increased North Korean defense capability.
Okay.
Also, I think President Trump will be very happy because this helps President Trump to extract more concessions from South Korea.
Okay, that could also be one part. A North Korean leader condemned the joint military drills between US and South Korea earlier this month. He described them as the most hostile and confrontational, which is not new. Does flexing new technologies mean a stern warning to South Korea again, or perhaps it's a part of psychological warfare?
Yeah, this is an ongoing pattern. Say, periodically South Korea and US keep conducting exercises.
Yeah.
So the present one going on titled Ulchi Freedom Shield, 7 days. And every time this happens, North Koreans do protest in various manners. This is one more manifestation of that.
Okay, so I mean, I was talking about North Korea flexing its new technologies. You also mentioned that they are sending troops to Russia, and in exchange they are getting advanced technologies, the unique technologies. Does that mean it's a part of psychological warfare? Is it a part of psychological warfare, or does that mean that North is giving a stern warning to South Korea that, look, we have the advanced technologies that you don't have, and if you will try to barge in the fortified border, then we will attack you?
It is also that the South Korea has new president in Lee Jae-myung, who is in office barely for 2 months. In June, he come to power, and his campaign on relations with North Korea is to improve relations with North Korea. So the previous South Korean president was conservative and he was stern, whereas the present president, new president, he stands to improve relations with North Korea. So they want to send out a message that you better approach for reconciliation, for improved relations with North Korea. So this is the signal that North Korea keeps sending timely. And for us, for India, the message is that we need to guard against North Korea transferring this missile technology to our Western neighbor. There has been a tradition, history of that. So we need to guard against North Korea. We have good relations with North Korea. We should activate our dialogue with North Korea that our security cannot be undermined.
Okay. With the tensions flaring between the North Korea and South Korea, will it escalate from here? The kind of situation that we have in front of us right now?
This is more of a posturing on the part of North Korea. Actually, their border is so close. South Korean capital Seoul is within the shelling distance of North Korea. This is more of posturing to extract some economic concessions from South Korea. So this has been the general pattern. And also, the newly elected president Lee Jae-myung, he stands for improved relations. On returning from Washington, he may put out a series of measures extending a hand of friendship towards North Korea.
Will there be ever any solution, between both these countries? Will there be any solution or any sort of resolution which will come out of both these countries?
You're right in asking. I've been there 15 years ago, and this has been an ongoing process. But the newly elected president, Lee Jae-myung, he is the best bet for North Korea because he stands for reconciliation and improved relations. North Koreans will do well to avail this his presence in the Blue House in Seoul to improve relations.
Okay, and what do you think of the meeting between President Trump and the South Korea president?
South Korean president has already made peace in terms of trade relations. South Korea has interesting situation. It relies for security on United States on one side, for economic prosperity on China. So it has to very carefully balance its relations between China and US. So with Donald Trump in office, South Korea has quickly offered concessions, and they have escaped with 15% American tariff on South Korean exports to US. And also they have pledged to invest, I think about $500 million in US to shore up American manufacturing facilities.
All right, we leave it there, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And still to come on DD India News Hour. Stage set in New York for final Grand Slam of the year, 145th edition of US Open to get underway on Sunday at Flushing Meadows. We will tell you about the Kite Festival in Colombo.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. And now Delhi Police on Sunday took part in the nationwide Fit India Sundays on Cycle campaign at the Indira Gandhi Arena in the national capital with the aim of spreading awareness about fitness and healthy lifestyles among citizens. The initiative, organized by India's Sports Ministry, was held simultaneously in all state and union territory capitals, encouraging participation from people of all age groups. The event also saw the participation of young sports achievers. 2020 Junior Asian Weightlifting Champion Ananya Patil and Under-19 World Boxing Championship gold medalist Krisha Verma cycled along with the participants. Launched in December 2024 by Union Sports Minister Mansukh Mandavia, the cycling campaign has so far been held at over different locations with participation of more than 8 lakh people.
और इनिशिएटिव जो हमारा 2011 से है कि जितने भी युवा हैं या जो मतलब हमारे जो स्ट्रीट पे जो हमारे इनको भी हम स्पोर्ट्स से जोड़ रखा है। शुरू से हमारे दिल्ली पुलिस की मुहिम चली हुई है जिससे कि जो मतलब स्ट्रीट जो वेंडर्स हैं या जो लोग हैं इनको भी हम जोड़ के रखते हैं जो कि क्राइम में ना जाके स्पोर्ट्स में और फिजिकल फिटनेस में आए, जिससे कि देश तरक्की करे। क्योंकि माइंड सेट होगा तो सर फिजिकल फिट होगा तो सर माइंड सेट होगा, नहीं तो उनकी अवेयरनेस फिर कहीं और जाएगी सर। तो हमारे जो कमिश्नर साहब हैं श्री सतीश गुलचा जी, वो भी खुद स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन है और वो भी शुरू से ही हमको मोटिवेट करते हैं स्पोर्ट्स के लिए, इसलिए उन्होंने आज हमें यहाँ भेजा भी है।
हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी ने एक बहुत ही अच्छा आंदोलन चलाया है, फिट इंडिया ऑन संडे ऑन साइकिल। तो इससे हमारी जनरेशन को और हमारे इंडियंस को बहुत ही अच्छा मौका मिल रहा है फिट रहने का। मैं चाहती हूँ कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग इसमें पार्टिसिपेट करें और इससे आपकी बॉडी तंदुरुस्त रहेगी और अच्छा रहेगा, आपके लिए बेनिफिशियल है बहुत ज़्यादा।
The stage is set in New York for the final Grand Slam of the year. The 145th edition of the US Open will get underway this Sunday at Flushing Meadows. With record prize money on offer and world's top stars chasing glory, tennis fans are set to witness high-octane battles. Here's more.
The US Open 2025 begins on August 24 at the USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center in New York, bringing the curtain down on this year's Grand Slam season. The tournament is making headlines even before the first serve, with a record $90 million in total prize money, the highest in tennis history. Both men's and women's single champions will walk away with $5 million each, runners-up $2.5 million, semi-finalists $1.26 million, and doubles and mixed doubles champions $1 million per team. On the men's side, the spotlight will be on world number 1 Jannik Sinner, who is chasing a historic third Grand Slam title of the year after triumphs in Australia and Wimbledon. Sinner comes into the tournament with a remarkable 26-match winning streak on hard courts. Germany's Alexander Zverev, who lost to Sinner in the Australian Open final, and Novak Djokovic, a 4-time US Open champion aiming for a record 25th Grand Slam, will also be determined to make their mark. Spain's Carlo Alcaraz stands as the biggest challenger. The French Open champion has beaten Sinner in a Grand Slam final already this year and will look to reclaim the New York crown, which he lifted in 2022.
So let's see, New York is a place that I love playing. It is where I got my first Grand Slam, which I just appreciate the love and the support that I received there every year that I go. And last year it was disappointing, the level that I played there. So this year I just really want to show my really good tennis, my best tennis, try to go as far as I can.
The women's field is equally stacked. Aryna Sabalenka, the defending champion and world number 1, will hope to repeat her title run. Iga Swiatek, fresh from her Wimbledon success, will aim for a second crown in New York and to cement her legacy across all surfaces. Elena Rybakina, who defeated Sabalenka in the Cincinnati Open semi-finals, is another major contender. And the home crowd will have their eyes set on Coco Gauff, the 2023 champion and the reigning French Open winner, who has already proven she can rise to the occasion under the bright lights of Arthur Ashe Stadium. With the women's final on September 7 and the men's championship match on September 8, the US Open is set to deliver drama, rivalries and history in the making right in the heart of the New York City. Sports Desk, DD India.
Batter Cheteshwar Pujara hanged his boots after representing India over a decade at the international cricket. Pujara featured in 103 tests and 5 one-day internationals after his debut in 2010 against Australia. But the 37-year-old was dropped from the team in 2023 after a lean patch and failed to win back his place. Here's a report on his illustrious career.
Veteran batter Cheteshwar Pujara called time on his illustrious career after representing India over a decade but failing to win back his place in the last 2 years. His solid defence and a remarkable ability to play marathon innings made him an asset in Test cricket. The 37-year-old called it quits on social media, wearing the Indian jersey, singing the anthem and trying my best each time I stepped on the field. It is impossible to put into words what it truly meant, but as they say, all good things must come to an end. With immense gratitude, I have decided to retire from all forms of Indian cricket. Pujara played in 103 tests and 5 one-day matches in his international career spanning over a decade after he made his test debut against Australia in 2010. The batter notched up 7,195 test runs at an average of 43.60, including 19 hundreds. He last featured for India in the 2023 World Test Championship final against Australia. The high point of his career was in 2018-19 when India registered their maiden Test series victory in Australia. Pujara amassed 521 runs in 7 innings and was named Player of the Series. He batted a combined 11 hours in the opening test in Adelaide, scoring 123 and 71 in the series opener. A lean spell towards the end of his career diminished his average, but he leaves behind a legacy that would be admired for dedication and determination. Sports Desk, DD India.
And DD India correspondent Narayan Singh joins us on Cheteshwar Pujara announcing retirement from cricket. Hi Narayan, we saw some of the great batters of Indian cricket getting retired. Narayan, Virat Kohli, saw Rohit Sharma and now Cheteshwar Pujara. Certainly not a good day for the cricket lovers, especially for all the Cheteshwar Pujara fans. But how would you sum up Pujara's career?
If we talk about Pujara, you can't, we can say that Pujara, his stats and his number, Pujara is not that thing. If you take a look, his 100 and more test matches he has played and scored more than 7,000 runs. But if you take a look, the way he played for the India, it's not about the runs, but the kind of impact he got in the Indian cricket team. He was, after Rahul Dravid, who to just fill the number 3 spot.
Right.
So,
right.
Pujara was filling that spot since more than 10 years. If you take a look, he was a central figure in India's victory in the back-to-back Border Gavaskar Trophy in Australia, first in 2018-19 and after that in 2020-21. In 2018-19 series, he scored 300s in the Australian soil, and we can say that first time India registered a victory in the Indian soil. And if we take a look, his innings, the 123 runs he scored at the Adelaide Test ground, and in the second inning too, he scored 71 runs. So it shows that how important Pujara was for the Indian cricket team. And in that series, he faced 1,258 deliveries, the highest by any visiting batsman on the Australian soil. It shows the composure, the calmness, and we can say that the strong and tough mind of the Cheteshwar Pujara, because Test cricket is a different breed. And after that comes the 2 years later, in 2020 and 21 series. Who can forget that Brisbane Test match where he scored 56 runs for the Indian team? If you talk about 56 runs, it's not a big deal. It's not a century, not a double century.
I understand. But it's all about the situation where you're scoring those runs, Narayan. And you said that right. I completely agree with you that Cheteshwar Pujara's temperament and Cheteshwar Pujara's resilience is something the world talks about. He was a top-class test player, and like I was just mentioning, known for his temperament, resilience. Do you think any other player in the current Indian team, current Indian test team has that level of patience?
Cheteshwar Pujara is a different breed. You get such players only once in a generation. You can compare with him in the past players of the BVS Lakshman, with Rahul Dravid. But right now, I don't see anything somewhat like Pujara, because if you take a look, the way I am mentioning is 56 runs mark. Because he took 211 deliveries to score those 56 runs. And
I understand.
He was just taking all the, we can say that the body blows to him. If we talk about the Australian bowling line.
Narayan, I want to ask you, what is your favorite memory of Cheteshwar Pujara?
Especially that inning. That's why I am rating it one of the best innings of the Cheteshwar Pujara. All the batsmen are going from one side, and that thing also allowed the other batsmen, especially the Rishabh Pant, to hit a match-winning knock of 86 runs, around 80. The inning was all around 18. So I think if you talk about that knock, Josh Hazelwood was there, Mitchell Stark was there, Pat Cummins was there. Just they are delivering the chin music, the body blows to the Indian cricketer. And at that point in time, we can say that it was a second fiddle team. All the players were got injured. And India was just struggling to collect their playing 11. In that situation, India won that match and playing 211 deliveries in the single test match. It's a big thing.
Definitely. We as a cricket fans, Narayan, are certainly not happy with Cheteshwar Pujara's retirement, but definitely we wish him all the very, very best in his career ahead. And we leave it there, Narayan. Thank you so much. Colombo's golf face green was transformed into a spectacle of colours on Sunday as the city hosted the International Kite Festival 2025, drawing participants from across the world. The event, organised by the Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau, brought together 55 international kite flyers from 25 countries alongside 500 local participants. Several leading stunt kite performers dazzled crowds with precision aerobatic routines. The Colombo Kite Festival has grown into a major international attraction, drawing visitors and promoting the city's cultural and touristic appeal. Well, that indeed was a beautiful visual. That's all in this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world. And you can also scan the QR code on the screen to download the DD India mobile app. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.